Right. Welcome everyone to the Final Point podcast. We are here. New season, new season for us with the show, with the showrunner Josh in the building here.
What's up, my brother? We are back.
We're back, bro. This is a very interesting NBA season that we got going on this year. A lot of things to talk about. We wanted to kind of take a little break within the beginning of the season just to see how the season played out, get a large sample size of trends, things to watch for the upcoming weeks, and through the NBA Cup to see, what teams are actually making noise out there. So we wanted to thank the fans and everybody for taking a watch on the Final Point podcast with us. And here we go, man. Like, new season once again.
So much to talk about, man. I'm glad we waited like a month because it's been a wild NBA season so far with some of the teams that have pulled out in front that we didn't really expect them to be as good as they are. So I'm glad that we weren't like all them other podcast shows and just kind of, gave
Staying
our predictions. Yeah, gave our predictions of the East and the West. Listen, we like to do those sort of segments, but we're just going to be reacting to what's been going on for the past month. And before we get into any basketball, shout out to our respective football teams who both got W's today. The Patriots from New England and the Dolphins from Miami.
It's funny that as soon as I give up on the Dolphins, they win against Josh Allen today in a very dominating fashion too.
They
which
dominated.
It's pretty amazing. They like to do this every time I give up on them. So maybe I start tuning back in. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe you shouldn't watch them for the rest of the season, man. Maybe they just go on a little win streak here.
I know when they went 5-5, I did not watch any of those games that season. So you might be onto something. There might be something to that.
No, man.
But shout out to the teams out there today. I did see that Patriots game. They were looking real nice. Good win over Tampa Bay. So
we are fucking back, man. We are so fucking back.
Drake May, shout out to Drake May out there. So let's go ahead and get into our first topic of the show tonight. Very hot topic, always going around. It's about Luka, ladies and gentlemen. The question is, can Luka win MVP this year? Is this finally his year to win MVP? Josh, your thoughts?
This version of Luka, we saw this version of Luka, I want to say first 3 seasons with the Mavs, where he was just completely dominant. But this version is a little different because he just looks like he's having fun out there. And although the Lakers may not be a contender, I think this is the season where Luka finally gets over that hump of MVP. Barring Jokic, SGA, and Giannis not continuing their dominant runs and making their own claim to the MVP this season. We got to understand, Luka's been at this MVP thing for a couple years now, right? Mm-hmm. And there's always going to be a time when that season comes where you just feel like, okay, he's going to get over the hump. Do we have Luka's stats for the season?
Yes. Let's go ahead and throw it up on the screen.
I mean, he's really.
So these are some team stats, but if we just take a look off of the team stats off of ESPN, he's pretty much leading the team in almost all categories: points, 37, rebounds, 10, assists, 9.5, and almost 2 steals per game. This is an amazing stat line. He's pretty much averaging a double-double / almost triple-double for the season.
And the only thing that I see him, the only thing I see slowing him down at this point is going to be if LeBron gets in there and starts sort of, trying to play LeBron ball, where he's the, dominant ball handler on the team. I don't see that happening. I think LeBron's going to fit in just right. But it is going to take away from some of the hot starts that Jake LaRavia has been having, and
for sure.
Hachimura. Both have been playing really well. That five for the Lakers they've been playing really good. Their regular season record doesn't really speak to it, but they have been playing really well. Do you think LeBron coming back is going to affect Luka?
Um, I think what I would like to see from LeBron at least is I would like to see LeBron take a reduced role uh, within the team. Not a six man per se, but I would like him to kind of be the main facilitator of the team and score in bunches, not always try out and go out there and try to score 20 or above. Uh, he's getting old. Everyone understands that. He's currently dealing with a multitude of soreness and back issues and things like that. So I would say the best way to even have a chance in this Western Conference is if you can keep LeBron in a reduced role and have Luka do what he's already doing and off to a hot start this season. Um, then I think this Laker team can actually have some big time success. I do like the addition of Jake LaRavia's hot start this year, and Jackson Hayes has kind of showed off a little bit. If they can get something consistent from Jackson Hayes, uh, I mean, they can really make a good run off of this team. The only person on this roster who I have big questions about is going to be DeAndre Ayton. We've seen him time and time again shrink and in playoff games, and or either stay healthy, or if it's not that, it's his motor uh, during the games down the stretch of the regular season. So I would say he's the only big question mark on this team. But for as to LeBron, I think if LeBron just if they use LeBron in a sparing way and preserve him for that offseason, this team could make a big time run.
Listen, we're still early on in this season, but if you look at Ayton's numbers, I mean, he's playing so much better than he did with the Trailblazers, reminiscent of his time with the Phoenix Suns. So we've seen what Ayton can be when he has a good point guard on his team giving him the ball, right?
Yep.
So you've now given him Luka, and vice versa. Now they have each other. And this is so far so good. 16 points, almost 17 points, 8 rebounds, almost averaging a double-double, and LeBron's not even back yet. So far, Ayton is what he was supposed to be, which is good.
Yeah, a functional five.
And Austin Reeves is playing out of his fucking mind.
Yeah. He's been having a great season.
So only good can come from LeBron coming back. So Let's see what happens. But if Luka continues these numbers, yes, Luka will win the MVP, because you know what it is also. Have you noticed that sometimes it affects the voting? If it's really tough to go back-to-back MVPs. Like Jokic didn't, but he was just kind of he was the obvious choice. He was just so dominant, you couldn't deny him. But winning back-to-back MVPs is tough. So I think they'll give it to Luka if it's a three-legged, if it's a three-man race, and they're all similar stats, I think Luka gets it.
I think a really good question here would be, is if somehow this Lakers team takes a nosedive and goes under 500 this year, can you still make the argument for the MVP if the team is under 500?
It's going to be really tough. I think if they at least make it into the playoffs and even win one round, even if they're under 500 or slightly above it, if they make it into the playoffs and win at least one round, I think Luka gets it. Just winning the award, there's so many moving parts to it, right? Because you usually have to be past the second round, right? That's just how it goes usually. All the MVPs that we've seen win it, even the newcomers, their teams had amazing seasons. Derrick Rose, 2011. So it's Allen Iverson, 2001. You know, where their teams just have really, really good seasons, and they're just having a special individual season, and it's just kind of all comes together at the end. Whether their team is
Yep.
a contender or not to win it, as long as I think if the Lakers are in there in the playoffs, then yeah.
Yeah. I think so, and I think just from what we've seen, I think they can definitely make a run for first, second round in the Western Conference Finals for
Yeah,
sure. They could definitely put up a fight. I think
I
I
want to
would
see
say
Luka
I
in the
like.
playoffs, man.
Yeah, I like this. I like this roster more than their previous rosters.
Oh
This
yeah.
this roster has a little bit more grit, more fight to them, some individual size. So, and they're a lot younger now, so that's the most important. So let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, and one that I know you're gonna enjoy is can Boston, can their new roster, can the chemistry hold them together to make the noise that they need to make within the Eastern Conference?
No, no. I I'm disappointed in Anthony Simons. You know, I lived in Orlando for a long time. I consider it home. Him being a home kid, I really have been rooting for him his whole career, and I really thought this move to Boston was gonna be the one that cemented his place in the NBA. Where like, look, I belong here, and I know he's coming off the bench, but he needs to be more of a factor if the Celtics are going to make any type of noise because they lost Tatum. You know, you lost all that scoring. You needed someone to kind of step up and replace that. D White's having a bad shooting season. I'm starting to think that the Jason Tatum factor, it was real. The effect that Tatum had on the whole team, all the open shots they were able to get, you know, we kind of take that for granted. And now what we're seeing is a very, very good Jaylen Brown playing on a not so good Celtics team. And it pains me to say that because I always really thought Derek White was that guy in terms of just the best role player you can have, where he steps up when he has to, he delivers when he needs to.
Hmm.
He just hasn't been that guy. Pritchard's having a slow start as well. Look, it's hard for me to say this because we don't really do tankings in Boston. But AJ DeBontia is at BYU, the Brockton kid from Massachusetts, and he's just waiting. It's just a perfect storybook ending to this, what is looking like a really fucked up season for us. You know, I don't see Tatum coming back if they're not even in contention before March. I don't even see. I don't see. There is not a path that I see Jason Tatum coming back if they're playing like this. You might as well just hold them off for the whole season and kind of restart it next season. So no, it's not going to hold up.
I don't think that it's I don't think the Celtics are per se tanking. This just looks like it might be a placeholder year for them until they're able to get healthy once again and kind of get their system back on track. I'm with you. I am pretty disappointed as well in Simons. I actually thought he was going to be a really good addition off the bench for you guys. Kind of have him like in that Derek White type of or Pritchard type role where you could just come right off the bench, be a scoring threat, and give him a breather room for Brown to get back in the game. But it just seems like he's been either not that comfortable or just not with the scheme of things. It just looks like he's not himself. It looks like he hasn't figured out the system, I guess, or gotten comfortable yet in Boston. I think he still has it in him, but I think he's just not comfortable as of right now.
Hey, well,
And
you know what? We don't have no patience, bro. Yeah, he needs to figure it the fuck out. You need to figure it. Anthony Simons, if you're watching this podcast, if you happen to come across this 2-viewer podcast, I want you to understand something. You're not playing for the fucking Portland Trailblazers anymore, okay? You're on a dynasty franchise that expects wins, and you need to step it all the way up, my guy. All right. I get it. The minutes he plays are not his choice. I get it. Joe has a real weird rotation that he's doing right now, but when he's out there, Anthony, you got to be effective. You have to be shooting. You have to be getting at least more than 14 points a game, dude. We can't have 8 points per game. Like, we can't have that. Go back to fucking Portland and do that.
We might have to replace him with some Hugo minutes, bump up Hugo's minutes a little bit more.
Well, one thing that I've found out by watching, this season start is that Hugo's not ready. He has a high motor, great size, but in terms of offensive fluidity, he just doesn't have it. He's gonna get it, but right now, I just can't see him being a 12 to 16 points per game player on a Celtics team that needed that really badly. Like, I was really rooting for Hugo, and I'm still Team Hugo. We still have a chance here. At least Joe does play him, but it's just another one of those cases where he doesn't look comfortable.
Yeah, it seemed something. I don't think it's anything with the coaching staff, and I don't think there's an internal issue within the locker room of the Celtics, but it just seems like everyone knows what type of year this is going to be.
We suck, man. Just say it. Listen, I see the smirk.
I'm not going to say.
You want to just say it. Say it.
Surprisingly, I don't think that you guys totally suck.
Well, thank you.
Because and the only reason I'm holding judgment is because I know you guys don't have Tatum yet. I need to see this team with Tatum to see what happens, because Tatum obviously and 100% makes this team a lot better. His attention on the basketball opens up shots for everyone else. He can facilitate well. He can get everyone in the right spots. This team goes as far as Jason Tatum goes. Jaylen Brown, however, is having an amazing year. He's showing why he should get paid the money he gets paid, and he's showing why he's one of those top players on the Celtics right now. The only thing I need to say about Jaylen Brown is, please, man, stop with the hairline paint. It's never a thing.
That was an accident, man. That was an accident, man.
Accidents don't happen more than 3 times, so
that's not fair. Well, listen, he's a little conscious about his hairline, man.
I get it, but
that was pretty embarrassing, though. I ain't gonna lie.
It just doesn't work when you're hooping. When you're hooping and you got paint on your head, it's never gonna stay there.
Dude, and then there was white shirts. It's just not a good look, JB. It's not a good look, but I see why he's delaying the inevitable, because he does have a shiny bullet, man. You can tell his head is cone head status, man. I can see it now. He's not gonna have a nice looking bald head.
Hey.
So he's gonna hold on to it, man, for dear life.
He could borrow a Derek White headband. It'd look better on him.
You saw what D White did, man. D White was like, "Yo, we off with this."
Yeah,
man.
He embraced it. I'll give him my respect on that. He embraced it. He went, and it worked out for him. So, shout out to them. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic of the night. Is Wemby, my friend. Is Wemby already the best rim protector in the NBA?
I don't remember seeing a rim protector like this in the NBA in a long time. He's what I thought Greg Oden would be.
Yes.
Coming out of college, Greg Oden was snatching shit off boards. Like, he thought that in the NBA this is going to translate so good and it's going to be fun to watch, but he never really got to that. The other one that I can think of that comes to mind right away, and forgive me if I'm a little old school, but I'm thinking Ben Wallace, during that dominant Pistons run. Ben Wallace was one of those people where you thought you had a shot up, and then he just would go up and get it. Wemby's just, he's an alien. We have never seen anything like this. So for him to be considered a rim protector in the NBA right now, I think we all expected that because of the way he's so tall. But I think what's going to make him one of the best rim protectors in the NBA is going to be his consistency in being that, right? We just can't see like where he just drops off, like a month or two in the end season. No, he needs to continue his dominance around the rim. And then I can definitely put him up there, but he doesn't really have a lot of competition right now. There's not a lot of high flying big men that can go up and get it like him. So yeah, right now he is.
I mean, I would say as not only is his size the actual deterrence, his presence of him just being there. You can tell just offensive schemes as soon as they notice that he's by the rim, everything changes.
Oh yeah, he turns people away.
Yeah, it makes teams so uncomfortable. So in that aspect as well, I would say yeah, he is, just because he doesn't even have to even go for the block to deter rim pressure. He could just stand and be within the paint, and obviously the size is going to cause some second thoughts, and just with those second thoughts can disrupt a lot of offense schemes. And yeah, I would say right now out of the NBA, he's definitely the guy. He's there. I haven't seen anyone actually really scared of going to the basket other than that MVP year of Giannis, when he was just a menace. You could not go to the basket on Giannis.
Hey, but do you know who bullies Wemby and gets the best of him? Sengun.
Yes.
With the Rockets, he bodies Wemby. He bodies him. Wemby's still too light, but in terms of going up and get it, yes. Hey, listen, you fancy yourself a baller, right? I mean, you say that you have a couple, legendary highlights out there in the street ball world that we've never seen. Do you think you can drop 5 points on Wemby 1v1?
No. I don't think I get one shot off on Wemby.
Not one. I can get one. I can get one off of him, bro.
You think?
I think if I drag him out past the 3-point line and I do that first step, I can probably beat him. But I know he's coming. I know he's coming.
I don't know. From what I've seen him do, the things I've seen him do this year, he even looks like he's got a lot of first step burst than most of the people in the NBA. He is a wild thing. But actually, since you mentioned that Sengun point, let me throw a two-parter into this question. So now that we established that he's pretty much the best rim protector in the NBA this season, now, do you think teams have figured him out recently? Because from what we've seen recently in some of these Spurs games, teams are not letting him breathe now. They're just throwing bodies upon bodies on him to deter him from even touching the ball, to make him less of an option out there. And it seems to have been working. And especially within that Rockets game recently, it looks like he was really uncomfortable out there.
Yeah, no. If the question is, have teams figured him out? Most likely, yes, because this is the NBA, right? And there's so much
they're gonna figure you out.
IQ that goes into these, game plans and scouting reports. So teams will figure Wemby out, but do they have the personnel to execute the game plan against him? That's what it's gonna come down to. Everyone got a plan until they get punched in the mouth, right? So we saw Houston handle Wemby very well. If you did the under bet on that game, you were smart about it, because they gave him so many different looks, and they have the personnel. They threw Eason at him, Ahmed, Sengun. They had numerous bodies that can just rotate off of Wemby and give him some problems. I think if you just let Wemby sit on that elbow and get the rock, and from there distribute, he's going to be dangerous. So deny him. And that's what Phoenix did on that one game early on the season, and they played him very well as well. So you're going to see Wemby's he's going to be tested, okay? Especially if they make it into the playoffs, come playoff time. Yeah. When a team's seeing you multiple times in a week, this is the NBA, man. This isn't the Euro League or college, man. They're going to figure you out. And it's up to you to kind of, adjust to it and still be dominant. So we haven't yet seen Wemby out of that. But again, it's still early on. But I expect teams to figure him out.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one too. It seems I have a feeling. I'm not saying he's not going to be useless. I don't find him being useless at all, even if he has a bad game. But like I said, just with his presence, he could turn the tide on a lot of a lot of games going out. And now with his point guard back in action, I only see things going up now for the
Yeah.
Spurs and for Victor Wembanyama because he's this dynamic duo is going to have a big time run this year. I really want to see how they're going to go out there this year. Well, I'm not going to say if they make the playoffs because I think they will make the playoffs this year.
The Wemby era has begun. That's that that it, this that's what it is. It has begun. How dominant he's gonna be, we will see. But he's definitely here.
I'm with you. Um, I'm really excited to talk about our next topic, man. Just because this was one of my biggest surprises. Did not see this, you know, coming into fruition at all this year in the NBA. But let's go ahead and talk about Josh Giddey, man, because I feel like when
Oh, Josh.
when
Yeah,
when
man.
when the Bulls made that trade
Yeah.
for Caruso and received Josh Giddey back, I remember a lot of people were saying, this wasn't a great trade. Don't know what the Bulls are thinking, bringing him here. A lot of people thought this was just a consolidation trade on the Bulls' behalf. I think the Bulls won. I think both teams won that trade. Alex Caruso served as a veteran defensive player for OKC in big time playoff games, and Josh Giddey served as their number one point guard, facilitator / veteran young core that they're now building in Chicago. And guys, he's been balling out. I mean, even we saw flashes of this last season, ending of last season. We just didn't know if he could stabilize that. We're seeing it right now. He is taking full control of that Bulls team, and they're off to a super hot start this NBA season. He's pretty much averaging almost a triple double so far this season, leading the team in points and assists. And he's at about 9.5 rebounds, 9.5 assists a game. And we've seen some impressive games from him. They've won some big time games with Vucevic as well in the clutch. This has been a big year for Chicago sports, along with the Cubs and the Bears.
They're both getting off to a hot start. Yes, it is. Yeah. Living in Chicago, you don't stop hearing about it. But listen, this has been unfortunately for every player that starts off hot, right? There's always storylines behind it. And one of the biggest debates online has been who won that trade, right? Mm-hmm. Caruso just won a championship with OKC, and he had a couple games where if he doesn't show up, they don't win that game. So, and on one hand, you can say yes, OKC won their part of it, and Chicago won their part. Why can't both teams just win the trade? And I think both teams won the trade. OKC didn't need a Josh Giddey for the team that they had. They drafted very well. They drafted good. That's the only thing that they did wrong was they drafted good, and they couldn't come up with a role for Josh Giddey with SGA ascending into the stratosphere, and Jalen Williams being who we never thought Jalen Williams would come out this hot in the NBA, playing the way he was. So you can't have someone with Josh Giddey's talent coming off of the bench, right? And then on Caruso with the Bulls side, there were so many Bulls games where Caruso just kind of took the day off. He hustles. I get it. He's that teammate that you always want on your team. Listen, I'm with that. But the Bulls didn't need that. The Bulls needed someone that can facilitate, score, and run the offense. So both teams, they traded for what they needed, and they both won. But if I had to pick a team that won for the long run of it, it's Josh Giddey.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
got to be the Bulls.
the Bulls did not have a face of the franchise. They traded Zach LaVine, who was supposed to be it. DeMar DeRozan was supposed to be kind of the co-face MVP, right? With LaVine, and they had a nice little run, but they didn't really do much. This is Josh Giddey's team in the third biggest city in the country, with one of the biggest markets for the NBA, and I'm here for it. I mean, I live in
And
Chicago. The buzz in Chicago is that the Bulls have arrived. The Bears are back, like they never left, but they haven't really won anything either. But it's exciting when Chicago teams are winning. This is exciting. So I'm happy for Josh Giddey, happy for the Bulls. They got themselves a baller, man. He's like a Steve Nash 2.0. He's
yeah,
out there just dropping dimes,
and
hitting threes, man,
he's a
dunking on
motor.
people. It's fun, man.
Yeah, he's a live motor when he's
He's
out
fun
there.
to
When he
watch,
gets
man.
he gets in that groove and he's out there dishing assists.
And he's
There's
6'8", man. I mean,
yeah,
he's 6'8" doing all this.
he's very hard to stop. And also, let's give Chicago props for drafting well because Matas Buzelis, that is a that is a volcano that is just kind of waiting to erupt. He's having so far a pretty good year with Chicago, and he's still very young. He is he is a hell of a player athletically, and to come off on the second year with the Bulls, averaging almost 14, 15 points a game, and just having instant impact on on the starting lineup for them. I mean, they definitely hit the home run as well with that draft pick. And like I said, he's still young, so he's figuring things out. This is only his second year. They got a great draft pick as well for that young core that they're building.
Yeah, Bucelis has been great for them. He showed glimpses early on last season, where he was, he was going to be legit, and so far he has proven that he does belong in the NBA. Also, one move for the Bulls that doesn't really go. I haven't heard anyone talk about this one move that they didn't make. It's the move they didn't make. Centers right now, like a Vucevic, are hard to find. Stretch five, that can hit the three, and they can play down low and play defense. And they didn't trade him. We all thought Vucevic was going to get traded.
Yep.
And they kept him. And listen, that was the right move. That was a smart move because now you give Giddey a legitimate 5, at least top 10 5 in the league. Vucevic is no scrub, he's almost averaging 11 rebounds, and also getting rid of LaVine, the cancer that was LaVine, and the ball dominant DeRozan. That ball's moving, and
Yep.
I've always said, when that ball moves, it moves with energy, and Josh Giddey got that ball moving. The Bulls look great. They look like they're having fun out there. I'm looking forward to this team being in the playoffs and having some buzz around the city.
Yeah, man. I think that's a great point too, because as we saw in this free agency this summer, there wasn't that many centers that were available.
Yeah.
So and the trade rumors were high with Vucevic over the summer, but
all the time, right? We thought he was gone.
Yeah, I think if they would have actually gotten rid of Vucevic, this team would not be at this hot start that they're at right now. At least now, with this team roster, they're able to compete with other teams. Vucevic is a functional 5 who can stretch the floor. And he's a rebounding machine. So why wouldn't you want to have at least, a person of his status anchoring this whole team together? Because we've seen time and time before, Patrick Williams is he's just not ready. Still not ready. I'm not sure where they go with Patrick Williams, and I would rather at least Vucevic gives you something. So it's a great addition, great trades, and great drafting from the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, I'm out on Patrick Williams. I'm already out on him. It's 22 minutes a game, 8 points, 3 rebounds. That's just not going to do it. He was a lottery pick. Yeah, but he was a lottery pick. So unfortunately, Patrick Williams is going to be one of those people, one of those players that the Bulls move off of, and he flourishes somewhere else. It happens all the time. We see it. So a new situation for Pat Williams is going to be beneficial for both him and the Bulls. Unfortunately, the Bulls are going to get the the lower end of that stick because he's going to be good somewhere else because he has the capability. The guy just doesn't look like he plays. Maybe he smokes weed a lot. I don't know. He doesn't look motivated out there.
Yeah, it's something.
If I was 6'8", Patrick Williams, I would be dunking on Wemby, dude.
Yeah, and he's athletic. We've seen the flash.
He is. That's what I'm saying. He's lazy. He just looks lazy.
Yeah. It might be a time for a new scenery for Patrick Williams elsewhere. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the show for tonight. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Final Point Podcast. It was a pleasure.
Hey, we didn't talk about the Heat, man.
You know,
we're gonna hold off for next week.
Yeah, I want to hold off for next week because, as impressive as they have been so far,
you don't want to jinx it.
I don't want to jinx it. I'm also waiting for a very special game. I'm waiting for the return of Jimmy, but I want that game to have Bam and hopefully Tyler healthy by the time that game comes in. But I want to see I don't want to make any judgments on the Heat yet until I have a full healthy roster. Things are looking amazing so far this year, better than what I expected. But I want to take a full evaluation first before I start getting really delusional. I'm trying to withhold that from the podcast yet. But once we're there, I'm going full ride.
So next week we got some Heat talk. We're gonna have some more Celtics talk, and things are happening around the NBA every week. So stay tuned. We're gonna try to get this podcast going every week again. Sometimes work schedules just don't match up, but we need to give the people what they want, man. They need us talking basketball, bro.
I think so too. I'm with you on that one. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us on the episode, and we'll see you there next week. Bye, guys.